Adam here with the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have the Sierra EV Denali Edition 1. So we'll look at the interior, the exterior, some of the available trim options, and then see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the Sierra EV, and there's a ton of really cool stuff in here. But before we even get going, I've got my phone with me, as we always do. There's a very convenient little storage area here. You can actually push that away so it's under the screen too, so that is pretty cool. But I've got my phone paired up, so we've got Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, so much cool stuff in this 16.8-inch display. But we'll put it in drive, go for a spin around, and cover some of that stuff later. Now, it would take a little bit of time to get used to an EV pickup. I've spent a lot of time behind the wheel of GMC Sierra 1500s and 2500s, and you know it's weird when it's super quiet, but it's such a nice feature. I've been driving around a little bit this morning, and it's crazy that it's so fast and so quiet. So now this is the dual motor, so it's the Ultium drive system. So what's cool is that it gives you 754 horsepower and a little over 780 foot-pounds of torque. So what does that mean? It's fast. It's really fast, like 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, and it's still capable of towing just over 10,000 pounds. So what's great is you do get a built-in brake controller in here, and obviously, like I said, you do have the electronic four-wheel drive system, so it can definitely do all of the truck stuff. Now, it does have a few little party tricks as well, but before we even dig into that, let's talk about the range. So GMC claims this with a full charge to get a 440-mile range. Now that's going to be a pretty impressive range. 440 miles, they say, if you can find a 350 kilowatt hour fast charging network. You can also charge about 100 additional miles in as little as 10 minutes. But if you've got a level 1 or level 2, you can obviously plug it in and get some of that charge back. Now you can also develop or change your driving habits to help you get the best possible range of mileage. If you're using that 750 horsepower all the time, obviously that number is going to dip a little bit, but if you're driving it even in the one pedal mode, that's going to help regen some of that energy, and it's just like driving any other EV around. Now let's put our foot down here. It's pretty fast. It's hard for me not to laugh when I drive these EVs because that silent delivery of power is just so fluid, it's so smooth and comfortable, and you know that there's a ton of safety built into these vehicles as well. Things like blind spot monitoring, emergency braking. This one does have the large, I think 14-inch heads-up display, so it is a crystal clear delivery of your miles per hour. It can show a little green car when it's noted that the vehicle's in front of me, and this also does have Super Cruise. So that's something like 400,000 mapped out miles, and that's basically hands-free driving. It will do a lane change assist for you. It can keep you in your lane. It can keep the vehicle distance ahead of you, depending on if you have 3, 2, or 1 vehicle length set. So that's pretty cool as well. And if Super Cruise isn't on the map, you also do just have an adaptive cruise control system. Now inside, like I said, on this 16.8-inch display, the biggest thing that blew me away was the backup camera. It is incredible. You can look side to side. There were some geese kind of creeping around the truck, so I was able to follow them from the right side to the left side behind me. You can look in the bed of the truck as well, so if you got something tied down in there for your cargo area, you can keep an eye on that, which I absolutely love. Now there is a little control button down here, so you can click that in the bottom left corner of the screen. That's going to also pull up things like your park assist, your window and door locks as well. There's so much stuff built into the screen, plus, like I said, the Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant. So I can click Google Assistant and say, Walser, Buick, GMC in Bloomington. It's going to give me directions. It's all hands-free, so like I said, I push my phone under the screen. I'm not messing with it when I'm on the go. Now, another pretty cool thing in here, the digital rear view mirror. So you can flip that on or off. Maybe, like I said, you got something in the cargo area, can't quite see around it. That's going to give you a clear view out of the back of the truck, which also can be pretty helpful. Now, what about the ride and drive? Like I said, the quiet, comfortable, it's super windy today, and usually you get some of that crosswind sound, and it's weird that it's so silent that all you can hear is a little bit of the wind kind of swooshing or blowing back and forth. It's weird. Like I said, it would take a little bit of getting used to if you're maybe in a louder 6.2 or maybe you're coming out of a diesel truck, but it's so nice. It's so relaxing in here. These seats in the Denali are extremely comfortable. These are going to be a heated, ventilated seat as well. Plus, on some models, you can opt for the heated steering wheel, which is a great Minnesota winter feature, and not to mention the storage. So like on the key fob, not only do you have the remote start, but you can click that little key fob to open up the front storage area. area. There's no engine up there, so it's giving you extra room maybe to keep the charger, some duffel bags, some tools up there, and on the key fob you can also click that remote, and that's going to lower the tailgate for you as well. So one thing that's pretty cool, kind of along the lines of that party trick, is the mid-gate. Now what that does is you can fold up the seats, you can remove the rear glass and fold the seats down so it's like an open cargo area. I think it's over 10 feet of storage back there. You can literally fold that down and put a kayak and almost close the tailgate back there. So whether you're hauling lumber, you got some larger objects you're bringing with, or you just want to open it up and have all the windows down and that open, that is a pretty sweet feature with the EV vehicle, because obviously the battery packs are down low. So even in the rear seat, the floor level is flat back there and you get a ton of room for rear passengers. But in the bed, you've got two 120 volt power outlets, you got a 240 power outlet, you also get LED bed lighting back there and a spray and bed liner, plus it comes with that tonneau cover as part of the options for this vehicle. Now the steering is pretty light. I was expecting it to be a little bit heavier when I was behind the wheel. So one thing that's really cool with the ride and drive, if you got a tight parking spot, I mean, vehicles are getting obviously larger, but roads and parking spots are pretty much remaining the same size. So this one has the rear wheel steering. So what that means is if you got a really tight spot, when I turn the wheel, it will lock the wheels the other direction in the back to help you make extremely tight turns. And what else is cool, you can do the crab walk. Everybody's seen the video of the Hummer kind of dancing around. This can also do that. And there's a couple pretty cool selectable drive modes in here for off-road, tow haul, or just your normal mode. But I mean, the ride and drive is so great. These seats are so comfortable. I love the seated position. Obviously, you've got some pretty large mirrors on the side with the blind spot monitoring, so it's easy to see around the vehicle, and especially with that camera setting, it makes parking a breeze. But just being on the open road, I could definitely easily do a road trip in this vehicle. You could spend a lot of time behind the wheel comfortably just because of the noise. I mean, when you take away the loud V8 sound, yes, it's hard for me because I do like it very much, but if you don't want it, you're just cruising along comfortably with the heated or ventilated seats going. The panoramic sunroof in here absolutely opens it up, especially if you got the kiddos maybe in the back or rear passengers. They are going to be very happy back there. And like I said, those seats are heated, there's charging back there, and if you're not hauling people, you can actually flip those seats up without opening the midgate if you need a little bit of extra hauling space. But this one also does get the Bose sound system, so it sounds incredible in here. The radio was crystal clear, so that is definitely an awesome upgrade. But now for 2025, they are doing a few different trim levels. Obviously the Edition 1 was first, but they will be doing a more off-road focused AT4 model. So that's gonna have a little bit different front end. You're also gonna have a little bit different wheel and tire setup. So this particular Edition 1 does have the 24-inch wheels with the 35-inch Michelin tire, and I was very surprised at how good it does over the road joists, kind of bouncing around in road construction season. You always think it's gonna be noisy and stiff, but this is not like any other 1500 GMC I've driven before. So I think overall, looking at the Sierra EV, especially the Edition 1, now price, MSRP is going to be right around $99,000. So yes, I get it, that is expensive, but you are getting a ton of technology, you're getting all the luxury of the Denali trim level, plus all the EV capability. I mean, 440-mile range and a 750 horsepower platform, that sounds like supercar numbers from a few years ago. And now to get that out of your daily driver with heated and ventilated seats, a great infotainment system in here. I mean, there's so much cool stuff about this truck. That mid-gate alone is such a cool feature that if you want to open the back to the front of the cabin, how cool of a design is that? But I mean, overall, I love the layout of everything. The steering wheel is a little bit thicker, and with the Super Cruise on here, it's very comfortable on your hands. I like that my phone can be stored here nicely to work with the infotainment. So lots of cool equipment, lots of good stuff in the Sierra EV. And I think if you're cross shopping, maybe for a Rivian or looking at the Hummer, I think you gotta get out, take this vehicle for a spin and see what you think. Now that was just a quick look at the Sierra EV. If you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com. Stop by anytime, we'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.